Alrighty, you are looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Jacksonville Jaguars. And why are the Jacksonville Jaguars 0-16? Because they suck. Never been to a Super Bowl. Ain't never won a Super Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars. You suck. Man, that stuff cracks me up. Well, welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all, is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away. Throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like, I'll be fine for 10 minutes or so. As soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away. My buddy Randy's here. We can continue. But seriously, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, very top link in the description box, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, unfortunately. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe give this video a thumbs up or share this video. This would be freaking awesome. Thank you. And then finally, it's just a little ways down in the description box. There's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart, can't stand change. I like things just the way they are and all that and everything. I'm one of them, get off my lawn, kind of old-time farts, right? I like things just the way they are. It's a Twitter link. It's always be Twitter to me. It's always been Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants me to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I put Giants-related stuff on my Twitter account every day. And then finally, the link on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. Very original, I know, because basically I had no idea what to call it. So I call it basically the same thing as my YouTube channel is. So it's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. We have over 8,200 members in the Facebook group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Here we go, guys. Well, I'm saying about 10:45. Yeah, this time tomorrow night, we will know what pick 6 was, right? Right. So, I'll be going live. I'll be live tomorrow. So whatever time it starts, let the gym in. Hey, join me. I'll be going live tomorrow. So if you got nothing better to do, whatever, I'll be going live tomorrow. Whatever, 8:30, whatever time the draft starts. So I'll be going live then. So we will find out, all this, all the speculations and all this stuff, trading up, trading down, trading up to get a quarterback, staying still, this, that, and other. We will find out what Shane and Giants and all of that are actually going to wind up doing. So, man, it's nice. I'll be live Thursday, and I'm going to go live Friday too for rounds 2 and 3. So. But I'd go live Saturday too, but my wife wants me out of the house because I got to go earn some money, so I can't have too much fun. What we got here? Oh, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, man. I tell you what, it's amazing how when you start getting closer, it's just like, the Giants are in it. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing one of the things that I've seen a couple articles like with, Drake Maye, he's the guy for the Giants. He's, they really want him, and it's like, so we'll have to want to wait and see. And it's kind of odd because, like, once again, this stuff I'm reading, stuff you can read, stuff I'm reading, the Drake Maye mania. Well, I mean, so I guess they're thinking, the Commanders are taking, neighbors. I guess everybody's got that figured out. I guess because, I mean, if the Commanders take Maye at number 2, it's kind of all null and void, and then again, why, the information they're finding out, why are they, everybody thinking the Giants want Maye or maybe McCarthy, why not, why not anybody else? Why not Daniels? I mean, the Giants don't want Daniels. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because it's interesting because finding out where these guys get their information from. But I mean, there's so many people out there. I mean, guys like me doing YouTube videos and stuff like that. But then there's so many people out there, writing articles and everything. It's really interesting to figure out where they're getting all their information from. Anyway. But I did my one and only mock draft, my 6th-round mock draft. Came out pretty good. I am a little disappointed because, I did pretty good. There was a couple positions I wanted to hit on that I didn't want. I didn't wind up doing it because basically when it was my turn to pick, like I wanted a defensive lineman. I didn't want to pick one in the draft because at the time it was time for me to pick. I didn't want to, I kind of took like the close to the best player available and a position of need for the Giants. So I didn't want to like scroll down 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 spots where to find like a defensive lineman. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I just basically kind of ran the best player available, position of need. I tell you what, I did pretty good. I mean, basically, it was with PFF, right? They got that, the draft, the mock simulator, and you can bang out like 500 mock drafts in about 45 seconds. It's crazy. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. Very, very interesting. But so let me go over here. I tell you what, I mean, I was shocked when Marvin Harrison Jr. was there at number 6. So I had to scoff him up. Neighbors and Odunze were gone. They went 4 and 5. So Marvin Harrison Jr. was the 3rd wide receiver coming off the board. So at pick 6, I didn't take Daniel Jones, pick 6, right? I took Marvin Harrison Jr. So, all right. Then in the 2nd round, basically the best guy available, okay, when pick 47 rolled around was Mike Sanristil from Michigan, the cornerback. When I said when and actually I think he was like their 40th rated guy or something like that, but he was still on the board. So the first 2 picks, it ain't nothing I did. I just knocked it out of the park because Marvin Harrison Jr. was there and Sanristil, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, from Michigan, the cornerback was there. So at pick 47, I took Mike Sanristil, the cornerback from Michigan, and both on PFF, both of them, I got A+ for both of those picks. Once again, it's not. I didn't trade and do it. Once again, when the picks came, those were the best of players available. So that meant with Harrison Jr., he wasn't taken in the first 5 picks. Sanristil wasn't taken in the 46. It wasn't like I did some kind of crazy trade or not like that. So those are the 2 best guys who are available at those picks, and I picked them. And I just wound up getting an A+ from PFF. That's all. In the 3rd round, then, I took the Rattle Man. I took Spencer Rattler, the quarterback, all right, from South Carolina with pick number 70. So basically in the first 3 picks, I got a wide receiver group, right? We got, we don't know if Slayton's going to be there, but we got Hodgins, right? But, as far as the guys that Shane drafted, right? We got Hyatt, We got Robinson, and now we got Marvin Harrison Jr. Holy freaking crap. Speed, quickness. Oh, I'm not going to say we're like a top 5 receiving group or not like that, but Marvin Harrison Jr., we just got a whole heck of a lot better. Let me freaking tell you what. But then not only that, in the second pick, right? Now we got Banks and we got Sanders still. We got our 2 foundational cornerbacks. One's a second-year guy, one's a first-year guy. Hopefully hopefully those 2 guys can stay healthy and we can, those guys be our cornerbacks for the next 350 years. We got to find, figure out who the slot nickel corner is or whatever like that, right? But just with my draft anyway, we got our 2 cornerbacks. So I said, and then we got, we got the developmental quarterback with the rattle man. Now, once again, he was like at the top of the guys that were available. As soon as I seen his name there in the 3rd round, I'm like, let me grab him. So I grabbed him once again. I had no idea. Nobody has, for the most part, 99.9% of the people out there have no idea what Shane and Dable are thinking as far as what they think about Rattler. They may not want the guy at all. So, I mean, but there's a good chance that the Giants are going to draft a quarterback in this draft. Now, I mean, you can even if you want to go crazy like that, I'm so freaking stupid. I can never remember the quarterback from Florida State, the guy's who led them to an undefeated season. He's coming back from injury. All right. Now he maybe a 4th round selection, somewhere around there, or Milton. The dude's 6'5", 235. He's got a cannon for an arm. I mean, if Dable just could be salivating looking at that freaking guy. I mean, Josh Allen, possibly number 2, and big and strong. Maybe in the 4th round, something like that. But anyway, I saw Rattler, so I took Rattler in the 3rd round. Right. So we got a wide receiver. Now we got all 3 wide receivers. I took a cornerback. Now we got our starting 2 cornerbacks, right? And then I took a developmental quarterback. So once again, what Shane and Dave will think of Rattler, who knows? But I would, everybody kind of seems to think that with this being a very good quarterback draft, that the Giants will at least take a quarterback somewhere along the line. Could be 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. Heck, could be even 5th round. Right? They're going to keep you guessing, right? All right, the next one I got. Then I took, Cameron Kinchins from the safety from the U, all right? He was the best player, pretty much one of the best players available. Position of kind of need for the Giants. What we got? Who would pass you off if drafted? Mine would be. Well, I saw an article like Penix at number 6. I was like, yeah. The thing is, that's a good point. The thing is, because it's like we got Carmen Brasillo in here. We have a different offensive coach who did very well with the Raiders last season, right? If I remember, I think he had a 1st rounder, a 3rd rounder, a 5th rounder, and I think 2 undrafted free agents on that offensive line, and they did very well. Right? Coaching is huge as far as offensive line. Coaching, huge, right? So let's see what I'd be rather. I said, as far as your point with like a tackle or something. 5th, 6th round, if they got a couple guys on the board and Brasillo's like, or something, it's like, dude, that tackle is there from Tulsa. That guy could be a heck of a swing. I think I can really develop that guy. I think he could be our swing tackle for the future. Or if there's somebody in the 5th and 6th round, he's like, the guard from Colorado State is still there. Tell you what, that guy can play all 3 interior offensive line positions. I think we can work with that guy. I think that guy could be a huge, give me a year or so with that guy. I think we could. I think 5th or 6th round. Yeah, picking somebody really early in the draft, an offensive line, because we brought so many guys in. We got a new offensive line coach. We still don't know if he can. Whip Evan Neal up into being a right tackle. Is Illuminor going to have to go out there? I mean, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. So, I mean, you're going to draft, Alt. I mean, holy crap. I mean, just think about this, right? Think about this. I mean, go out into the NFL, right? Look at all the offensive lines. Does any other team out there have 2 tackles that were drafted by that team where their draft positions come up to 11, 4, and 7, right? We drafted Thomas at 4 and Neal at 7, right? Then if we take Alt at 6, holy. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to run 3 tackle sets? Or, I mean, we took a tackle at 4, another tackle at 6, another tackle at 7. I mean, what the? I mean, holy cow, right? And then if you can want to go back to Eric Flowers. We took him at number 9, right? I mean, back in 2015. But so, I mean, to take one really early, I think that would just be plumb crazy. I think, because I think like after the season's over, let's see what we got. Because let's not forget, Azudu's coming back, McKeithen's coming back. Can Brasilla make anything of those guys, right? So we got a lot of offensive linemen. After the season's over with, and I said this before, after the smoke clears and the dust settles and all that, let's see what the offensive line looks like. And then it's like, we got Thomas, Michael Schmitz had a good year. This guy, Runyon was a good guard, but we still need we can maybe use a tackle. So, what I mean? But I think after the season's over with, so I would be rather shocked about that. Also, another thing too. I mean, one of the things you look at too is like if they're going to trade up and make the Hail Mary of all. If they're going to go to trade with, like, say, the Patriots at number 3. I mean, apparently, just what you're hearing anyway, the Patriots want a nice haul, for pick 3. So for them to go from 3 back to 6, they're going to want probably a couple first rounders and somebody else and all that. So if you're going to draft your quarterback, okay, but now you need to build a team around them. Well, if you just traded away a lot of your draft capital, how are you supposed to build a team around the guy, right? And the thing is also that, I don't want to say the clock is ticking on Dable like this season, but he'll have, I'm sure, especially if he drafts a quarterback, he'll have at least 2 seasons, right? Because I don't think Mara wants to keep firing coaches every 2 years. It doesn't seem like he wants to do that anymore. So I mean, that'll give Dable and all probably like at least another season. But so now maybe you might have your quarterback in the future, but I mean, if you don't have a team built around them, and if you don't have any high draft capital, to bring in some nice studs, it's hard to build a really good team around them. And if you got a quarterback, but if you don't got a team around them, what's your record going to be? So I mean, you got a couple bad seasons with some bad records, and it could be bye-bye Dable. And then you might get the same problem we've had almost all along. I mean? Then you get a new coach comes in. Yeah, sure, I'd love to be the Giants head coach. That Drake Maye, he's not the quarterback I want. I think I might want another quarterback in it. So then you got to draft to get another quarterback. I can understand trading up for Maye. We were limited draft picks. No number 1 receiver. No. You know what I mean? So it's a tough, because basically they trade up for whoever. Daniels, McCarthy, Maye, whatever. They trade up. It's all chips in the middle of the table because basically they're betting they're betting their jobs on it. That's a stone cold guarantee there. Because now you don't have maybe some high draft capital to build a team around them, right? And then if you draft a guy and he doesn't work out, so now you got a guy who a quarterback maybe not working out, like, maybe Daniel Jones, and you don't have a team around them, your record's just not going to be very, very good, and you probably just a matter of time before you're gone. So if they trade up and they trade away some nice draft capital, like to the Patriots, they're all chips are in the middle of the table. But the one nice thing is that Dable did some pretty nice things with Josh Allen. just listened to one of the podcasts and stuff and all. When the Bills drafted Allen, people in Buffalo did not want they wanted. I think they wanted Josh Rosen. They did not want Josh Allen. So a lot of people in Buffalo were a little pissed off that they traded up to get Josh Allen. But it's working out pretty well now. I mean, they got their minds, they figured it out. We're going to take Josh Allen, not Josh Rosen. So they took Allen, pissed a lot of Bill fans off, but Josh Allen's still the man. And Josh Rosen, I don't even know when the last time he was in the NFL. I don't know the last time he threw a pass. So they did pretty good. So, I mean, one nice thing, I do believe in Dable. I do think Dable's can do some pretty good things with the quarterbacks and all. So if they got their eyes set on somebody, that's the one thing too, right? And I heard like Ed Valentine, because Ed Valentine's been covering the Giants for like a long time, right? He was also kind of saying, what would you rather do? Would you rather, go after your quarterback and swing and miss, or not draft the quarterback and watch him go someplace else and have a really good career? I mean, if you're going to get a quarterback, swing. If you miss, you took your shot. But if you connect, you're good. You know what I mean? So if there's conviction, if you think that's your guy, and if you possibly can, I mean, obviously, if you go from 6 to 3, if the Patriots want like 3 first rounders and a third rounder, so just some ridiculous, crazy draft capital, that'd be too much, because you go back to 2018, the Jets were 6, the Colts were 3. So the Jets and the Colts swapped picks. Now the Colts are picking 6, and the Jets moved up. So the Jets moved up 3 spots. Well, the Jets gave up 3 second-round picks. That's quite a bit. Every spot they moved up, they gave a second-round pick away. So that's quite a bit. But I mean, like the Patriots might want like maybe 2 or 3 first-rounders and just some crazy stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But you're right. I mean, if we get a number 1 wide receiver, that would be huge. I said that. So in my mock draft, I got Harrison Jr. I mean, whew. Harrison Jr. will make Daniel Jones look better. That's for sure. All right, what else we got here? So I took Cameron Kitchens, the safety from the U. So now we got Javarius Owens. He didn't see the field much of it all last season, but we got him. We got Kitchens. We got Belton, right? We got Pinnock. So we got some nice young safeties. Now I'm not saying we got the greatest safety group in all of the league, but we got some depth there, without question. You can certainly always somewhere along the line, if you want to add a really good safety, you can always pick somebody up maybe in next year's draft or next year's free agency or something like that. But Kitchens, he was one of the best players available in my mock draft anyway. And so I picked him up. So we added some good depth to the safety position. My 5th round pick, I took Dallin Holker. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's a tight end from Colorado State. He was one of the better players left available. But also, like once I got to the 5th round, some of the guys that were available might have been like an offensive lineman there, might have been like a cornerback, might have been a wide receiver. So there were some positions, some players in certain positions that were still available there in the 5th round, but I didn't take them because, I'd taken a cornerback already. I took a wide receiver. I didn't want to take an offensive lineman. So I took Holker. He was my worst graded player. I got a B for him from PFF. So at round 5, pick 166, I took tight end Dallin Holker from Colorado State. So now we got him and we got Bellinger. Now, whether or not Waller comes or hangs around or not or whatever, we got 2 young tight ends moving forward. We still could always use a really good receiving tight end. The Giants can maybe address that maybe next season as well. But now we have 2 young tight ends moving forward. And then my last one, I took J.D. Bertrand. I got an A for him because he was one of the best players left available. He's an inside linebacker from Notre Dame. So now, if taking him, right, we got Beavers, we got McFadden, we got Okereke, we got Bertrand, right? We got we got Carter Coughlin as well too. So with Bertrand, he can add some She'll give you some good depth at the inside linebacker position. So now we're pretty much set there. I mean, according to my mock draft, that's all. But with same thing with Bertrand here, I took him at pick 183, round 6. There was other guys available that might have been a little bit higher rated or whatever, but I think a couple of them were cornerbacks. It might have been a wide receiver, and it might have been a quarterback available. I think there was a punter that was up there as well too. But I took J.D. Bertrand. So not that we're really dying to get an inside linebacker, right? But I just gave him. I just drafted that. Did you hear? Yep. Now I did a piece on that Waller. I think it was last night. Last night, yeah. So maybe that's what's kind of screwing with him. Maybe he doesn't know what the heck's going on. Maybe it's why I don't know if I want to come back or something. Maybe the going through the divorce, or maybe having problems with Plum or whatever her name is. Maybe that's screwing with him. I don't know. Maybe now that maybe he's getting divorced, maybe that part's over with, and maybe he can focus on football. We'll have to wait and see. They only were married for a year, so it's not like they were married for a long time and like they're going to split up and everything's going to get cut in half and she gets half of this or he gets half of it. They don't have any kids, I don't think, or anything like that. So they should just go their own way, and maybe he can come back and maybe he'll focus on football now. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I'm saying it really would have been nice if he would let the Giants know what he's thinking before the draft. You know what I mean? Because like just saying the third round or something like that, or say the Giants trade back, right? Say they trade back with the Vikings, and I'm just throwing out there. I have no idea. I mean, there's other guys. There's other guys the Giants could draft too. Don't get me wrong. But say if they slide back for whatever reason with the Vikings at number 11, right? The Vikings want to jump up, the Giants jump back. Yeah, Brock Bowers is there, quite possibly, right? I mean, now you got your receiving tight end. You got Bellinger, and now you got Bowers. You got B&B, right? So now, would they draft Brock Bowers if they think Waller might come back? I don't know. But, the Giants can certainly use a receiving tight end. They can, and Brock Bowers could be the number one threat this year. They can always certainly pick up a number one wide receiver, maybe somewhere along the line. But, if Brock Bowers is there at number 11, right? If they know Waller's not coming back, they might take him, right? So who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. So all in all, my one and only mock draft, I got an A overall. I took Harrison, wide receiver, Sandra Still, cornerback, Rattler, the quarterback, Kinchins, the safety from the University of Miami, Holker, the tight end, and Bertrand, a linebacker. So, unfortunately, I didn't draft a defensive lineman, which I would have liked to have. But the thing was, every time it was my turn to draft, there really wasn't a defensive lineman, according to PFF, ranked up that high. I didn't want to scroll down 10, 12, 13 picks to find the best defensive lineman. I didn't want to do that. So I kind of took like the best player available for the most part. So. But there's also a source on Facebook as well, too. It kind of shows you what the hit and miss rate is of drafting all the positions in the first round. Now, Paul Hembo calculated the percentage of first-round picks that were hit or miss based upon whether that player signed a second contract with the team that drafted him. So that's pretty much straightforward, right? The data encompasses the 20 drafts spanning from 2000 to 2019. So you took those 20 drafts right there. Here are the positional hit rates. Now, there were 12 centers taken in the first round from 2000 to 2019 in those 20 drafts. Centers were taken 12 times in the first round. 11 out of those 12 got a second contract by that team that drafted them. So their hit rate is 92%. That is by far the best hit rate. Okay, positional hit rate. Everything else, offensive tackles, interestingly. Let's see, 64 tackles, offensive tackles were taken in the first round from 2000 to 2019. 38 hit, 26 missed. So a hit rate of only 59%. Basically, 3 out of every 5 tackles taken in the first round were hits. Okay. And once again, a hit is if that team that drafted them gives them a second contract. There's no blue, black area, nothing, gray area, nothing like that. It's did they give him another contract or not? So offensive tackle is the second highest hit rate. Then after that, it's 50% and lower. So guard, interestingly, the 3 offensive line positions were the best hit rates. A guard, 28 guards were taken in the first round of those 20 drafts. 14 were hits, 14 were misses, a hit rate of 50%. So the top 3 positions, center, offensive tackle, and guard, everything else was under 50%. Linebackers, the hit rate was 48%. Quarterbacks, 46%. Edge rushers, 44%. Defensive tackles, 40%. Cornerbacks, 38%. Running backs, 38%. Safeties, 34%. Tight ends, 33%. And interestingly, very interestingly, since we're talking about the Giants here, wide receivers, 77 wide receivers were taken in the first round of those 20 drafts from 2000 to 2019. 77 wide receivers, only 21 of them got second contracts from their team. So by far, the wide receivers were the worst, at 27% hit rate. That's not very impressive. Not very impressive at all. Feels like the Giants whiffed on number 26. Oh, I'm a hit on one. Yeah, man, you got that right, I tell you. But I mean, you think about it, we shouldn't even have had to maybe even thought about drafting maybe Banks. Why? Well, because we drafted Eli Apple in 2016. Now I realize, well, it's all 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now I realize this would be Eli Apple's 9th season. But, some cornerbacks can play 9 seasons. But I'm saying if you're going to go back, last season, right? That would have been Eli Apple's 8th season. Cornerbacks can play 8 seasons. Now, I'm not saying he'd be the number 1 shutdown corner for the Giants, but if he was the right guy, if he was a good player, a good pick, all this stuff, right? 8 seasons, he could be our second cornerback, right? We still shouldn't have to draft Banks. Why? Well, because we drafted DeVonta Baker, right, in 2019. So we had Baker, right, and we got Apple. Those are our 2. Should be our still 2 cornerbacks. So we shouldn't even be thinking about a cornerback, maybe, especially early on. We shouldn't have been drafting Banks last season because we should have hit on our other picks, right? Why did we draft Evan Neal? We drafted Eric Flowers, right? I'm not saying, Eric Flowers, but this would be his 10th season or so, but you're drafting all these other guys, replace guys that you missed out on. It's, that's why it's sometimes it's like, when you draft and you miss, boy, it sets you back. It really sets you back. Obviously we've hit on some picks for sure. That's certainly for sure. But, man, when you miss, boy, I'll tell you, that does set you back. You're still looking for a tackle, still looking for this, still looking for that, of course, we took a quarterback, right? Here it is, 6 years later, we might still be looking for a quarterback. How do you think the Jets feel? They've been looking for a quarterback since after it was 76. I think I was named its last season with the Jets was 76 because I think 77 was his last season in the pros, but it was with the Rams. So they had Richard Todd, they had some other guys and all that, but my God, they drafted Zach Wilson, was at number 2 overall, and they just traded him away for a bag of Doritos. They're still looking for a quarterback. Man. Oh my goodness. All right. We got Mania. Oh yeah, he's the man. He's I don't know. He's taking on Drake Maye, full steam ahead. Rumors are flying all over the place with the 2024 NFL Draft nearly here, and a bunch of them involve the Giants and their interest level in some of the quarterbacks expected to go high in the first round Thursday night. While there are likely plenty of agendas at play regarding these news leaks, and things are always subject to change, Drake Maye is the Giants guy, according to Dan Graziano, the Giants guy. The Patriots haven't seemed impressed with teams' offers for the number 3 overall pick, but the Wednesday ESPN report says the Giants and Vikings have been most active in talking with the Patriots about this selection, and that if the Commanders take Jaden Daniels at number 2, Big Blue would be very interested in trading up to number 3 for Maye. One potential alternative, again, could be posturing is the Giants taking Washington. Now this, I don't know, man. One potential alternative, again, could be posturing is the Giants taking Michael Penix as high as the number 6 pick. Whew, man, that would make things that would make the internet erupt. Penix at number 6. Whew. Those rumors suggest that the Giants are not as interested in Michigan's J.J. McCarthy, something 3 national reporters have given credence to. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah said he doesn't view the Giants as a J.J. McCarthy team, with the Athletic's Dane Brugel and Sports Illustrated Albert Breer agreeing with that assessment on Twitter. Then we got, let's see here. Multiple reports indicate that the Giants are trying to pry the number 3 overall pick in the draft away from the Patriots in an effort to select North Carolina quarterback Drake Maye. Jordan Renan and Dan Graziano of ESPN are both reporting that the Giants are hunting for Maye. Graziano said a month ago, many in the league believed their favorite quarterback in this class was J.J. McCarthy. If that were true, things have changed. The rumblings earlier this week, the Giants' guy is Maye. Once again, I have no idea who's telling these guys this stuff. But here is more from Graziano, including what would turn out to be a shocking turn at number 6 if it is what the Giants ultimately do. I've been told the Giants and the Vikings are the 2 teams that have been most active in discussions with the Patriots about number 3 pick. And the same thing. If the Commanders take Daniels at number 2, then the Giants or the Vikings might be very interested in moving up to 3, maybe for Maye. Trading up for Maye would be pricey, but not stunning. It is not difficult to see the parallels physically and in terms of their college scouting reports between Maye and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. After working successfully in Buffalo to help turn Allen into one of the game's best quarterbacks, it isn't hard to imagine Giants head coach Brian Daboll believing he can have similar success with Maye. So once again, I have no idea. Penix and Niels Blind said, yeah, but Penix at number 6, I've never heard that at all. My goodness. I think that would make the internet just erupt. If Penix, possibly maybe a late first round or a second round pick, all of a sudden he gets taken at 6. Woo! The thing I don't like about Penix is that his injuries. Now, of course, everything panned out, like his injuries at the combine and all of that. Everything. Oh no, he's okay. One thing, as I said, guys saying, Jimmy Johnson, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Cowboys and all that and everything. One thing he always said: hurt players get hurt, right? Guys that have a tendency to get nicked up all the time or something, they're going to have a tendency to have that happen. And, he had a lot of injuries, and if you're a quarterback for the New York Football Giants, you're going to take some shots, it just seems like it kind of goes hand in hand, right? So, we should be much improved, I would think, over last season. I'd be shocked if we give up anywhere near 85 sacks this next season. But, with Penix's injury history, I don't know, man. I'm not so sure about that. And the thing is that, maybe Shane learning, right? Bringing guys in or bringing in free agents. A lot of them been relatively healthy, right? Did he learn from the Waller experience, right? Because quite possibly he might have gave up a 3rd round pick for Darren Waller, who might only play 12 games for the Giants. And that 3rd round pick may not be a Hall of Famer or an All Pro or not like that, but if you do your due diligence and you do a decent job picking a 3rd round pick, I mean, the guy should be a nice contributor to your team for at least 4 seasons. Now whether you want to re-sign him for the next season or not, for a next contract or whatever, that's who knows. But I mean, if you draft a guy in the 3rd round, he should be a contributor, right? And basically, we just might have gave away a 3rd round pick to the Raiders for 12 games for a guy for 12 games. So that might be something Shane might be learning. I don't know if he's going to want to be gambling on anybody who has a extensive injury history. And whether they say Penix is okay or not or whatever, he has an extensive injury history. I mean, quite a few of those injuries ended his seasons, right? So you're talking about put Evan Neal over there, protecting his blind side. I don't know about that. All right, then we got the Giants. This is from Big Blue Interactive.com or BigBlueInteractive.com. Yeah, it says the Giants. Yeah, it's right here. It has the Giants draft needs. One is quarterback. Absolutely. I can't agree more with that. Quarterback. Wide receiver. Yep. It would be nice to get a dog, get ourselves a wide receiver, a number 1 wide receiver, right? And then we would have Hyatt, we got Robinson, we got ourselves a dog, whoever that is, right? And we still got Hodgins. Don't forget we got Bryce Ford Wheaton. We got other guys as well too, but we also not forget about Slayton. Whether he's going to hold out the whole camp, is he going to show up? Who knows? But if he doesn't show up, or if he does hold out or whatever, we get ourselves a number 1 wide receiver. We're not really going to miss the guy, right? So, but we certainly need a wide receiver, obviously. A defensive tackle. I would love to get a defensive tackle. I mean, if you get somebody next to Dexter Lawrence, man, that'd be fantastic. Man, you got Burns, you got Kayvon, you got maybe Azeez. If Azeez can stay healthy, whatever, coming in off the bench, right? But you got somebody next to Dexter Lawrence, man, that would be a nice foursome because everything always starts in the trenches. And if you can get yourself a nice defensive front, man, that'd be awesome. As I said in my mock draft, I didn't even draft a defensive lineman, but I wouldn't be bummed out if the Giants drafted a defensive lineman in 2nd or 3rd round. That wouldn't bother me at all. Not at all. Especially if we get a young guy put next to Dexter Lawrence. I would love that. Then it got here. We need a cornerback. Absolutely. And we use a safety. As I said, if nothing else, because you don't know what they're thinking about. They think Pinnock can be the guy, and then Belton, who's like a ball hawk. I mean, he always seemed like he was either recovering a fumble or he was coming up with a big play, right? Always seemed like he was doing something. I think we will take Neighbors of Rome 6. I keep hearing Chris Jenkins at defense. That wouldn't be bad. I'd be good with that. Yeah, I mean, I said I would love to get a defensive tackle, get that front wall there. Man, that would be awesome. Because, I mean, you got the front wall, and then you got, McFadden, a Karake behind him. That would be pretty cool. That would really, really be nice. Absolutely. I would love that. All right, then they got in this report here, it says the Giants could use a safety. Yep. Because they got Pinnock, Belton, Jalen Mills, and Javarius Owens as the main contenders. Says Bowen tends to use a lot of double high and split safety packages, so physical safeties with range who can tackle will be desired. Now, let's not forget. I mean, I have no idea what the heck they're going to plan on doing with Isaiah Simmons. No idea. It'll be interesting to see where they use him. They just use him basically as a pass rusher. I mean, they're going to maybe put him in there as safety. Interesting. The one thing is that they do use him as maybe like, I don't know, I'm just saying if they would use him like some type of a safety, or maybe they could walk him into the box, right? He does kind of have, sometimes he does have a tendency to miss some tackles. So, I mean, the one thing about safeties is you better be a good tackler, because you're like the last line of defense. Because if you're a safety and you miss, there's like, oh, we got the guys behind me. Oh, no, we don't. We don't have anybody behind me. Oh, we're screwed. That guy's scoring a touchdown. So if you're a safety, you better be a good tackler. And sometimes, I say he missed a few tackles last season. But I'm going to be very interested to see what Bohm does with Isaiah Simmons. I'm very happy we brought him back. All right. Also in this report, it says the Giants could use a tight end and a running back. Yeah, I mean, a running back, we still got, Gray. We know Gray's not returning punts, right? Jashawn Corbin, right? Okay, we got Singletary, right? So we got some. We certainly got some running backs. They could, they took one in the 4th or 5th round or so, whatever. Wouldn't bother me at all. Wouldn't bother me. And then they said a tight end. Now the thing is, we got a lot of tight ends. We got a lot of blocking tight ends. We can use some receiving threat tight ends. And it's to get some really good receiving threat tight ends. It's kind of hard to get those guys in like the 5th or 6th round or whatever. Not that you can't find, maybe a diamond in the rough in the 5th round or so. But for the most part, if you're going to get somebody who's really good athlete, that's a good receiving tight end, or maybe you have to get them in the first couple rounds. But we'll have to wait and see. And I've said this all the time. We got a bunch of holes. What do we look like after this year and after next year's draft? Because we got this year's draft, we can fill a couple holes, right? Hopefully 2 or 3 or so. We got next year's free agency. If we have some money to spend, we can bring in 1 or 2 guys to fill in another hole or 2. And then we should have next year's draft. We can fill in a few more holes. And after next year's draft, our holes should hopefully be at a minimum. So let's say, because, we only got 6 picks. And let's not forget, you can kind of almost look like, one of our holes was kind of in a small way, was an edge rusher. Well, you want to look at it, we took one of our picks and we filled that hole. We took our 2nd round pick and a whole lot of money, right? But we took a 2nd round pick, our first 2nd round pick, and we filled an edge rusher. So we always forgetting that. We got all these holes. We only got 6 picks. Well, we had 7, and we used one of them and to help get an edge rusher. So, that's a nice feeling. That's a real nice feeling. 2 edge rushers, whew, that's a great feeling. We have 2 edge rush, but Azeez, when Azeez can be healthy, Azeez can be very, very effective. Got Kayvon and Azeez, but Azeez just can't seem to stay healthy. He did not have a very good season last year, but I think with Burns and Kayvon, so let's not forget, we did fill one of those holes with our 2nd round pick. So, but I said after this season and after next year's draft, let's see where we're at. Because, regardless, we have so many holes, we're not going to fill them all in the draft. All right, and then what do we got here? Oh, Joe Schoen keeps his plans close to the vest in the build-up to the draft. Yeah. So this is what? From Giants.com. Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job of kind of keeping things, maybe not tipping his hand or nothing like that. Like I always kind of go back to this one draft here. It was in 2016. What do we got here? 2016. What do we got here? The Giants were picking 10th. Now, apparently, I think the Giants wanted to take Jack Conklin. I think he was. I think it was Jerry Reese was our GM at the time, and apparently some stuff. Sometimes guys don't keep a very good job at keeping the information in house or whatever it is. However, the stuff leaks out, who knows? But apparently, word started getting out, possibly that the Giants had wanted to get Jack Conklin. And of course, word starts spreading out. Then what winds up happening, right? Guys jump up and they jump in front of you. Teams jump in front of you. So that's when the Titans jumped up to number 8. Actually, that number 8 pick went from the Dolphins to the Eagles to the Browns to the Titans. And with the Titans with the number 8 overall pick, okay, in the 2016 draft, the Titans took Jack Conklin. So they took a tackle. All right. Then apparently word was spread out that the Giants really wanted, I think, Leonard Floyd as well too. Okay, so then what happens there? The Bears jump in front. They trade with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had the 9th pick. The Bears jump right in front of the Giants, take Leonard Floyd. So now the Giants, apparently, I guess their top 2 guys. I think because maybe stuff started leaking out with Jerry Reese. I don't know. You know, obviously he didn't say anything, but however, word started getting out, right, that the Giants wanted either Conklin or Floyd. So just when the Buccaneers were on the board, and possibly they didn't want Leonard Floyd, the Bears jumped right in front of the Giants and took Leonard Floyd. So now the Giants are standing there basically like, what the heck just happened? And then Jerry Reese winds up taking Eli Apple. I mean, oh my God, what a freaking disgrace. Absolutely atrocious. And then also you kind of like, where are we at here? We go back to the draft a few years ago. Where are we at here? Let me find it here. Okay, the 2021 draft, right, with the Kadarius Toney, right? You know, apparently the Giants wanted DeVonta Smith, right? And apparently maybe with Gettleman, the word might have gotten out or whatever, right? And so what did the Eagles do? The Eagles jumped in front. The Eagles and the Cowboys traded. Wow. That's a slap right in the Giants' face. The Eagles and Cowboys, they hate each other, and they made a trade, right? So apparently, I guess word got out that we had the hots for DeVonta Smith, right? And the Eagles jumped right in front of the Giants, right? So the Giants said, "What do we have?" We had 11, and the Eagles jumped up to number 10, right in front of the Giants, and snatched DeVonta Smith. Now the Giants, obviously, then still could have had Micah Parsons, but we traded back, and with the Bears drafted Justin Fields, and they gave up some draft capital for that, and they swung and missed. They swung and they missed big time because now they traded him away and they got basically a bag of Doritos for him, right? But the Giants, on 2 fronts, right? They traded back and got Kadarius Toney, right? Or they could have stayed where they're at 11 and drafted Micah Parsons. Could you imagine Micah Parsons on this defense? I don't know if we would have gone out and got Brian Burns. I don't know about that. But could you imagine Micah Parsons on this defense? With Kayvon and Sexy Dexy and Okereke. Wow. Micah Parsons. Wow. That would be pretty special. So, to keep stuff in-house and all of that and not let stuff start spreading about as far as what the Giants might want to do. That's pretty, that's pretty important because times in the past, teams have just jumped right in front of the Giants and plucked the guy that the Giants wanted. So, but Schoen is doing a good job of keeping stuff to the vest. Joe Schoen believes he has the 2024 NFL draft figured out. Not all 257 selections, but he knows who's going first. And as the Giants general manager, he has a conviction about what they will do. The initial prediction he's willing to go public with. The second, not so much. We all know USC quarterback Caleb Williams is going number 1 to the Bears. That's pretty much a done deal, Schoen said last week. Feel good about that. The Giants will pick 6 in the first round Thursday, unless they don't, which would happen if they trade up or trade back. Schoen is not letting his intentions leak outside the team's draft room at the Quest Diagnostic Training Center. There's going to be a lot of smoke this week. This is the Giants guy, and this is who they're taking, Schoen said. And nobody knows because there's one person that does, and I'm keeping things pretty close to the vest in terms of what we're going to do. The more people that know what we're going on, you maybe put them in a predicament you don't want to put them in where they know the information. It gets out, and then you're looking at them sideways. So try to keep as much information in-house and that'll continue through Thursday in terms of when I get a feel for what's going on happening around us. So Shane's doing a very good job, okay, of keeping stuff, close to the vest as far as what his intentions might be. Shane is charged with improving the Giants' record. Yeah, he added 15 veteran players this offseason, and the draft presents another opportunity to continue to reshape the roster. Shane conceded the team in several positions to upgrade when he said, "We're not one player away, or two," at his news conference last week. The draft is a key component in the never-ending quest to improve the team. You feel the weight of the expectations no matter what time of year it is, Shane said. Early in August, you feel the expectations. It's what keeps you up at night. It's what motivates you every morning. Obviously, you want to get this thing going and heading in the right direction when you're picking this high, or even last year when we were at 25. There's always been expectations that you want to improve the football team and bring in as many good football players as you can. So we'll see. So you can see the results on Sunday. But he's trying to do the best job he can, as far as keeping it. Because, once you start leaking stuff out, it makes you also kind of wonders, like, where some of these guys are getting their information from. They're talking to guys who work with the Giants, but do they even know what Shane's going to do? He seems to be doing a pretty good job. So I'm very, very, very excited, about the possibilities for tomorrow. Anything can happen. Anything. They could trade up. They can stay still. They trade back. Pretty much, anything almost for the most part, anything they do. If they trade up for a quarterback, I'll be excited. Okay. Because it's kind of like all or nothing. It's like, this is going to be our quarterback. Right, so I'll be kind of excited about that. If they stay still and take a wide receiver, I'll be pretty excited about that, because then we'll have our number one wide receiver. We'll have a nice threesome with Hyatt, the Rocket Man, right? Robinson, right, and whoever our number one guy is. We have 3 great wide receivers, 3 young, right? Robinson's 3rd season, Hyatt's 2nd season, and whoever it is, neighbors, Harrison or Dunzier, 1st season. So we got a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd season. Our tight ends in his 3rd season. Got some young guys. You know what I mean? So if we trade back for whatever reason, right, with the Vikings or somebody like that, we'll get some extra draft capital. So we'll get some extra, an extra draft pick here or so. So if we did trade back with the Vikings, we get 2 picks, right, in the 1st round. And maybe somebody else, I don't know. I also, you also hear, too, that the Broncos, of course, once again, these are just things that you just hear. But they start spreading like wildfire. The Broncos were like, possibly wanting to trade up with the Giants at number 6. But they might throw Patrick Surtain, PlayStation 2 in there. Right? So the Giants would have the 2 cornerbacks, and then the Giants would trade back with the Broncos and maybe get 2 1st-round picks. Wow, that would be a win-win, man. So you trade back with the Broncos and you will get 3 players. You get Patrick Surtain, the 2nd, and you get maybe 2 1st-round picks from the Broncos. That would be like a 3-for-1. Wow. So whatever they want to do. I said the only thing is the Vinny G-Man was talking about. If they drafted Alt, I couldn't possibly see that happening. Just what you hear and all this stuff, if they were to trade up for like McCarthy or something like that, I think I'd be a little shocked about that. But I think for the most part, whatever they want to do tomorrow night, I'll be pretty happy with. And then finally, this should wrap up. I think I covered every positional group of my videos from the past couple weeks or whatever. But the edge rushers, now the Giants. You can never have too many edge rushers. I would be, if the Giants were to trade back and they were to get it and they would draft like one of the top edge rushers or pick like 11 or 12, I'd be a little shocked about that. You can never have too many good edge rushers, but if they were to take an edge rusher, if they traded back, I'd be a little shocked about that. They got a bunch of holes to fill. Edge rusher depth is huge, absolutely. So if they took one in, if you want to go crazy, 3rd round or 4th round or so, or maybe in 5th round to get some depth, I'm fine with that. I said we got some holes to fill. So I'd like to see the first, second, and third rounds that, we fill some holes, and maybe fourth, fifth, and sixth. If you want to start adding some depth in there, I'm fine with that. But according to PFF, there's a lot of edge rushers. A lot. I mean, they got a lot too. I mean, he's like their 10th graded guy. Dallas Turner from Alabama at number 16, Verse at number 19 from Florida State. I mean, Isaac from Penn State, number 38 overall. But I said, I think that's a little rich for the Giants because we have other holes to fill. You can never have too many edge rushers. But since we just brought Burns in, I think if we're going to grab an edge rusher, I would like to see it in the fourth round, maybe on back, just as some depth, right? But there's a ton of guys. I mean, in the first 100, according to PFF, edge rushers, they have, I forgot what it was, and there's a lot of edge rushers. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They got 14 edge rushers listed in their top 100 prospects. That's a lot. So basically, late third round, they still got decent edge rushers. I mean, there's Javon Solomon from Troy. He is the 11th graded edge rusher. Right now, of course, he played with Troy, so you got to keep them. But he's their number 91 player, ranked player overall, right? But he was the 11th graded edge rusher. Then they got Braylon Trice from Washington, edge rusher, 6'4", 275, nice size. He's the 21st graded edge rusher in all college football. But then even in the next 100, so rounds 4, 5, and 6, I think they still have like another 10 or so edge rushers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got 10. In the next 100 guys, they got, so according to PFF, that's all I'm going by. They have another 10 players. So in rounds 4, 5, and 6, they have about another 10 edge rushers. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys, a lot of edge rushers here. So the Giants can certainly, I said, I would be a little shocked if they took one in the first couple rounds. If we were only like 1 or 2 positions away, we just needed like a safety and a wide receiver, something like that. I can see drafting an edge rusher early on. Sure, absolutely. But we got so many holes to fill, right? I would really like to see the first 3 picks fill those holes in, right? I say, because we're going to fill holes in this season and next season too. But I said, 4th round, 5th round, and 6th round, they see an edge rusher out there. They think they can come in because this might be Azeez's last season with the Giants, right? And we got Tome and Fox, so we got a couple of guys, but nothing super spectacular. I said, especially if this is Azeez's last season with the Giants. I said, I don't know what they're going to do with Isaiah Simmons. Maybe use him. I don't know. Don't know. He's very good rushing the quarterback, but I said, if they see somebody 4th, 5th, or 6th round who thinks they can, going to be a nice, guy off the bench, right? As far as an edge rusher, give somebody a breather, or if one of those guys gets injured, bring him in off the bench and guy can participate. I'm all for it. Absolutely. Especially because it gets somebody who's young, he's injury free, right? I'd be all for it. As I said, once again, you can never have too many edge rushers. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 2 minutes. Vinny G-Man, good talking to you, buddy. Hey, if anybody wants to join me live tomorrow night, I'll be on at whatever time the draft starts, 8:15, 8:30, whatever it is. So I won't be on, I won't be coming on at 10:30 at night or 10:45, whatever time the draft starts, 8:15, 8:30, whatever it is, I'll be on. So if anybody wants to join me, good night. Thanks, Vinny. Good talking to you. So if you want to join me live tomorrow, I'll be here. All right. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.